Greetings and welcome back once again. This is Amuna 2 times and not too far apart because there's something on my heart, y'all. I gotta come share for those who just joined us. Welcome. If you're coming back and don't know it, go already. Stay by. You know, I had to come back. I did the video earlier talking about go home. Now, most of what I concluded in that video, this is for the 90-day review. I'll stick by that part, right? But I continued to watch a few other reviews, some which were funny, some which were concerning. And then I started to think. I said, self, from a Solonomics perspective, because I usually don't just cover this stuff for gossip and all of that stuff. Yeah, they'll be learning something. So from a Solonomics perspective, I'm thinking to myself, did I misjudge Bilal? I like to do research when time allows, and today was kind of a little slow day for me. So, I did a little research, a little digging around, and I'm like, I guess it's take a break. Yeah, Judah, because I'm saying to myself, we have to be careful. I'm most careful when I'm saying what I need to say, just not for entertainment purposes, because this is the internet, okay? And things live on the internet. Now, most of the people who they presented in the 90-day show, go home. But I thought to myself, I was watching one YouTuber who's well known, okay, and I'm like, is this fodder for the fire? Is this Bilal's story? Are they putting it in a certain way? Are they pitching it in a certain way? Is he misrepresenting himself? And being that if you remember back in the day, I kept up with the Dimitri and Ashley situation, the Snowdens from Seeking Sister Wives, another TLC show. Okay, like Dimitri was off the chain, right? But that show was interesting. So I said, you know what? Let me hop on to Instagram before it gets really hot on the block and things start disappearing. So that because I already put myself on record as saying some stuff, I wanted to go and see if we had him pegged right, or is this an attempt to shine a bad light on Bilal? So I'm going to read some Instagram things. Is he broken? Is this a trauma response? Is he just trying to make sure Sheedah is there for the right purposes? Or is he just a terrible person? You know what I mean? Because we don't have much representation of good men out here. So is this another attempt? Yeah, Dimitri was off the chain. And where is Dimitri, by the way? And actually, Snowden is just skipping on Instagram. And Dimitri has disappeared into the clear blue sky. I don't know. That was weird. That was a whole weird situation. So I did a little digging around. I didn't have to dig too far because it's on his Instagram. And a few years ago, he's notable in his community. Okay, he's active in his community. He's passionate about finance and teaching about finance. So it's not just the person has money and the person is keeping it to himself. I actually heard a YouTuber was saying that the person is not doing anything in their community. And then I started saying, wait a minute now, we got to make sure that we are not doing the bidding of those who want to misrepresent. I'm not saying that he's not suspect. I'm just saying we got to call it what it is according to what it is. So he was given Imam of the Year. The wind, oh gosh, let me pull up this window. And it's so nice in there. Okay, how about I move the car? Nah, I'm gonna just pull up the window. All right, I pulled up that window. It should be better now. Let me know if it's better now. So he made Imam of the Year. Let me know if the wind is better now. Many years ago, and he's humbled and so truly honored for this great honor to be able to share the stage and honored among the great men and women, judges, congressmen, mayors, doctors, philanthropists, entertainers, humanitarians. And he goes on, none of us do what we do for the recognition. We all do it for the impact of other people's lives. So he's not just, my point is, many people come to 90-Day Fiance and some people say, oh, they just trying to look a bus, they're just trying to come up off the show. So I had to rethink myself and be like, Amuna, all right, all fun and joke aside, right? Is this person like what people accuse Usman of? Usman trying to come up, although Usman has been doing his music, They say he trying to look a bus off a 90 Day, right? This man here is already a thing in his community, in what he does. I seen him at Grant Cardone. For those who are in real estate, who in business, you know about Grant Cardone. He's at 10X conferences. So it's clear that he was doing stuff before 90 Day, and he was making headway before 90 Day. So why would he want to come on 90 Day? I don't know, but let me read a little. This is his acceptance speech. I have many heroes, but one of my biggest heroes is who I chase. My hero is me in 10 years, every day, every week, every month, every year of my life. My hero is always 10 years away. I'm never going to be my hero. I'm not going to attain that. That's just fine with me, because that keeps me with somebody to keep chasing. And he goes on to talk about, I don't need $1 billion, but I absolutely have to make sure my life's work, my message, and my gifts and talents touch the soul of 1 billion people, whether directly or indirectly, before I take my last breath. And he goes on to say, I'm no angel. I'm just one guy who believes in something more for every human being and living creature on this planet. And so basically, he's saying that he wants to help. Okay? What's going on here? He wants to help. This is in his Imam of the Year acceptance speech. Okay, so let me go on. What I found interesting that got me like, oh, that may be the vibes that I'm picking up. For those of us who was in college and we were around fraternities or sororities, there's a certain energy. Like KS's energy was a certain energy. When you go to college in the beginning, freshman, sophomore year, people begin to either get recruited by or actively seek out fraternities and sororities. You can see that I'm kind of unconventional, so that was never my thing. But I saw people when I came in, and those people gravitated towards these type of organizations. So Kevin Samuels gives off a certain energy. He's a Kappa. If you were around them, you would know about the parties. You would know about the people who gravitate towards different groups. This guy here pledged. When I saw it, I said, yes, he does give off black and gold vibes. For those in the audience, do you know what black and gold vibes are as it relates to fraternities and sororities? But in this case, fraternities, that black and gold vibe are the alphas. Alphas. He's an alpha. And his alpha name was Prime Time. I should have put Prime Time in my title, okay? And he put here, 20 years ago today, 7 of my brothers and I crossed those burning sands. Wow, how time flies. Many were chosen, but few were frozen. And he goes on. So he is pledged to a fraternity. And that's kind of what I was picking up. Each one of them have their own vibe. Kappa is the pretty boy vibe. Alphas kind of have a vibe. Qs, who go around barking all over campus, they also too have a vibe. And Sigmas also have a vibe. Those are the major ones that were on my campus, what were on your campus. So when I read that, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not really into fraternities and sororities. I do pick up that energy from him, okay? I pick up that energy from Prime Time. So a Prime Time, we're gonna call him now, okay? So we're picking, it's, you know, when you see somebody and hear somebody, you're picking up something and you don't know exactly what it is. And then when you see it, you say, oh, in order to be a part of these organizations, you have to agree to certain things. Being a part of these organizations for some also opens certain financial doors, right? So there are a lot of things that come with people who subscribe to certain things. So we can also put that one in the bag. Let me continue. So far, Prime Time was Imam of the Year. So he's active in the community. He also pledged. He was in college when I went. He was in college a year before me. So he would have pledged early if he's 42. He looked like he pledged right when you went there. Some people just, anyway, let me not get off topic. Now, I think this was back in 2018. He writes a Dear Future Wife post. This is where it gets interesting, okay? And I went over there because somebody said he turned off the comments. I was like, oh, here we go. This will quickly turn into something else. Hold on. Let me get to the Dear Future Wife post. So we can double check if we're doing the bidding of the system who doesn't want, black love, as some people will say. Like someone mentioned, this is one of the few melanated men on this show that actually get with other melanated women, however brighter they may be. Let me go ahead and drop down here. Hold on one second so I can read the whole thing. In February in 2018, he writes, "Dear Future," and he did turn off his comments. He's scared of the internet. Bilal, don't be scared of the internet. You should have asked Dimitri. This internet has no chill. "Dear future wife," he writes, "the devil offered me a girl, but I asked God for a wife. So this is the kind of relationship we're destined to have. The kind where we love God and keep him first. The kind where we don't have to be perfect. We just gotta know we love each other." He said, by the way, that Sheedah jumped into his mailbox. So he left all of this. He kind of left himself open for any woman to come in and see what it is that he wants and possibly tailor themselves towards it. So this is interesting, the way he baits on social media, but I'll continue. "The kind where we both are willing to put in the effort and work to improve ourselves in our relationship. The kind where people look at us and say, you can tell God put them together. Love, your future husband." So he's writing some random letter to somebody somewhere on Ragil Instagram. "I think I love and I invest in myself already. It's time that I pray this love. Magic happens when you love yourself so badly and fiercely, you'll attract a loving soul willing to do the same. Now is the time to speak it into existence. Whatever you think and speak about, you bring about." So we see that he wanted somebody. This may have been after the divorce. Wait a minute. There's another part that he talks about divorce and how it affected him. And so there's somebody who said he jumped right into marriage, but they already said that he didn't because he was afraid of getting hurt, which leads me to believe that it was the wife who left him possibly. And so he's scarred to a certain degree. So is this a wounded man? Like, do we have him wrong? Did I jump too soon and tell Sheedah to run for the hills, which she possibly might need to, keep her track shoes near? I don't know. I'm going over this with you guys. I kind of just took some screenshots. Back in 27, he's serious about his faith. I heard that, he just jumped into this Abrahamic religion. And it's not true. According to what they said, he grew up Islam, and she also grew up Islam. They didn't, so they're not first generation where they walked around and said, "Ooh, let me pick that." This is how they were reared. So he goes to Medina, which for Muslims is a holy place, back in 2017. Okay. Let's see here. Let me jump back. He gets Imam of the Year in 2017. Let me go here. So he's serious, according to social media, or what he lets the people see on social media about what he does. He also is serious about going out into the world business-wise and climbing that ladder there. There was something I wanted to read. Oh, let me jump back over here. But he always looks like he's but you do see a little bit of depression. But do we throw the whole Bilal away? I'm like feeling a little like, oh, Mona, do you want to throw the whole Bilal away? I don't know. Hold on. And he's born in December. What is this? December 11th. He turns another year older. So he's born in December. That's interesting to note. Wait, where's the next part here? So he didn't become somebody. Judah said, "You lost me. Can you still hear me? Let me know if you can still hear me." Did Judah say throw the whole Bilal away? Can you still hear me? My point a little bit is that she's saying she didn't know who he was, but being that he's this vocal on social media, even if he didn't show you where he lived at, did you see all of this on social media? It kind of gave you a little bit of an understanding. Let me go back to my my thing here. So I read the Dear Future Wife thingy. Oh, then he Dear Future Wives again. Wait a minute. When I think of you, When I think of you, I got to read it in the Dear Future Wife. When I think of you, I think of everything that a righteous wife is. A righteous wife is one of great gifts on earth. She will be my ticket to Jannah, paradise, and me hers. She'll be my slave of Jannah. But they're saying he was married at least 2 times before. So he may have an idealistic picture in his mind, but he may have a bit of OCD. He may have some internal trauma that he's covering up with all of these fanciful words and things. And nobody may ever fit this thought process that he has. That's a possibility. He says, if you go outside, you can find thousands of stones on the ground. Bro, what are we talking about? Are you over here trying to build something? A house or something? They're lying everywhere. You can just pick any of them up at any time and put it right into your pocket or throw it right back on the ground. But Bilal, I'm trying to revisit to see if we were preemptive, namely me, in this conversation. But what are you talking about, Bilal? She will mean that I will provide, maintain, and protect her with my life if I had to. Meanwhile, Bilal puts Sheedah, threatens to put her out on the highway. Hold on. She will be one who can help develop me to become even a better person, and who is open to me helping her become better as well. She will mean righteousness, affection, comfort, support, love, and peace. He is very clear about his bucket list. He is very clear about what he wants. Sheedah, did you read any of this? Hashtag future wife, hashtag queens are for kings, talking to my diary, aka, what is this, Instagram. Strong families equal strong communities, kings and queens. These are all his hashtags. We're revisiting, for those who just joined us. I felt a little prick at my conscience for the way I went in on Bilal earlier today. I didn't want to just preemptively, so I bethunked myself. And I said, self, no man, give Bilal a chance. So this is what I'm doing, okay? And since I did it publicly, I'm bringing back my findings publicly. So he's well-traveled and he likes writing to his future wife. Again, he writes, dear future wife. This spells thirsty for me. I'm sorry. He's writing, he's baiting, but he's not overtly baiting, right? Dear future wife. He must think she's out there somewhere. If I just sprinkle this somewhere, then she will find me. And according to what he said, she found him. She slid into his DMs because he was out there fishing. So he caught a bait. When I think of you, I think of everything that a righteous wife is. Any woman that comes about, I don't know who you are, but when I put my face on you, then we'll know. Oh, I already read that one. So let me continue here. Then he goes on. No, wait. No, this is him visiting Medina. Okay. So he's saying that he has peace in his soul when he visited the Holy Land for Islam. Nothing can reach or torment you or oppress you. So he's into his religion, okay? For those who think that he is not. Let me see here. I have to go back to those. Okay, now, this is the part what I wanted to read. Hold on. This is him talking about, I guess, the divorce. Blended. Wait, let me go back. So, y'all, sorry. I took screenshots and it appears that my screenshots are out of order. Let me see here. Hold on, Bilal. I'm out here giving another chance here, Bilal. Just to make sure it is what I saw. I'm going to come to see what y'all are saying. So, while I'm looking here, it appears that he has other things in order, but the emotional part of his life he does not have in order, which is the case with many successful, quote, high-value men. They're driven in one aspect, but the other parts of them are not necessarily where they want it to be, because you can't deal with the relationships the way you deal with your financial goals necessarily. I'm trying to see. So he has some pictures of him. He's here trying to stay positive. The devil offered him a girl. So it seems that just any girl won't do for Bilal. Bilal is a special type of girl. Hold on. But she says he's always preaching, and it may be he because he's a preacher. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta get some wind in here. Let me know if the wind is coming in the thing again. It's hot. Hold on. Oh, where did the blended thing go? Oh no, hold on to me. Do. Let me cue this thing up. Oh, here it is. My goodness. Bring it, Bilal. This is 2018. Let me see what's going on here. India's like red flag, red flag, red flag. Toss him out in a hefty bag. No. Oh, he's a sag. Get rid of him. Post him. I wasn't like necessarily throw the whole man away. I was just like Sheedah should go back home. And Bilal may need to go into therapy. Yes, he showed a different person. This is where I'm like, is it 90 days showing him in a bad light? Or is this really who he is? Because I saw E.T. I saw just now, I'm going to cue it up and get the audio, where he's saying that they asked him to account for how he was behaving. I'm actually going to go over there in a minute. And then let's hear what he says there. Judah say hard pass with a curve, not a curveball. Yeah, I think he may need therapy. He's looking for a woman, but he may need to deal with his issues. So he says, I recently read the book Blended. So he reads, y'all. Bilal reads. Can he get some credit for reading? This is, what's the name of this? Are we misjudging Bilal? So he's giving us alpha vibes. He's giving us high value vibes. And he's also giving us, you know, trust issue vibes. Right? But let's read this here. I recently read the book Blended for the second time now, and I highly recommend anyone who has a blended family. Besides my faith, family life has always meant the most to me. I always yearn to be loving and faithful husband. Bilal. Sorry. I was going to meet the woman of my dreams, have kids, and live happily ever after. But things didn't work out that way. So when I went through a divorce, it shook me to my core. So he's kind of like the Will Smith type. Can he get some? Can he get some? Y'all stop giving me joke. I'll try to be serious here. I'll try to be serious. I'll try to be a responsible YouTuber. So basically he was the Will Smith type, not expecting to get divorced, okay? So when I went through a divorce, it shook me to my core. I felt like my whole world was crumbling around me. One thing I would say, he's in touch with his feelings. There's a lot of men who couldn't necessarily express what he just did to identify that this is what I wanted. Here is where it failed. And this is how I felt. I'm here to tell you a lot of men can't do this. And I'm not caping for Bilal. I'm just trying to see if we're giving this man a fair shake. Are we giving him a fair shake? Okay, why do people outside just want to be extra today while I'm trying to give Bilal a fair shake here? Come on now. Okay, where are we at here? Okay, my life was changing forever. I went through depression, heartbreak, the feeling of self-doubt, and feeling like I was a failure as both husband and father. We must give Bilal some credit. Which man out here is going to take accountability? I don't know if he took accountability because we don't know how the marriage ended, but he may be playing the victim card. So I don't know. But to say that he felt like a failure, most men wouldn't necessarily say that out loud on social media. Where are we here? It may be him playing the victim card or maybe not. Where are we? I felt like my whole world was crumbling around me. My life was changing forever. I went through depression, heartbreak, the feeling of self-doubt, and feeling like I was a failure as both husband and father. I was lonely, felt unattractive, and unworthy. Interesting. I placed a lot of blame on myself. Oh, what? Bilal, taking personal responsibility? I didn't read this part, y'all. So interesting. Are we giving this man a bad shake? These thoughts were eating away at me, and part of me didn't want to be vulnerable again. Is this the hesitation that we're experiencing with him and Sheedah? He's afraid. Is he afraid? Is this why he's acting like this? I don't know. I felt like a part of me died. However, even in darkness and despair, there is light. I asked myself, how do I begin to become the person I need to be for the two beautiful souls that I brought into this world? So is Bilal afraid, y'all? I had to find the light in the dark places. As a parent, I couldn't afford to fall apart. I had to relearn faith and surrender in order to let go. The love you have for your children can become your motivation. Is he just giving us the preacher vibes? Why did the woman run away? Why is he blaming himself? It says their happiness and peace of mind comes first. I needed to form a steady relationship with the person I wanted to be, my higher self, the version of me that embodied love and spread light. I was falling in love with myself all over again. Hold on, y'all. What time is it? I see some people rolling up here. Hold on. I might have to run a commercial when we see where these people going here. Where am I?
I'll see you.
No, it's okay. Just wait. If they're coming this way, we'll know. Now, I began. Where am I? No matter how strong one pretends to be, mental and emotional wounds take the longest to heal. I began the feeling of falling back in love with myself and loving life again to the point where I'm open to share that love with whoever God has for me. As a result of first doing some healing and self-work. So he claims he did healing and self-work. My ex-wife, her husband, and I all co-parent our children together with love and respect for one another. The mission is bigger than us. We're all on the same team and we have the same goal. Children can feel the vibes between the people they love the most. Everybody wins. I share this only to inspire healthy relationships. So Bilal's in touch with his feelings, y'all. Did we give this man a bad shake? He's in touch with his feelings. He takes responsibility for the role that he played. Is he just being hyper vigilant and therefore he's presenting inauthentic? Let's see what's going on here. India and Judah is not having it. India said, I don't care about your feelings. Maybe his feelings are out in traffic where he was going to leave the lady. Judah said he manipulating you, sis. He giving a side story and you falling for it. Yo. Oh, it's a hard no. Yeah, many men cannot express. So can we give him, he expressed himself, even if he did it to entrap somebody, I don't know, but he is giving fishing vibes and he may be having that vulnerability. Narcissist, I'm not saying he is a narc, although he was giving narc vibes, but narcissists do and can show vulnerable parts of themselves so that they can get other people to trust them. And once the person trusts them and space, then they got them, right? So this is, a narcissist can be vulnerable if it's going to be a tool to entrap people. You would have been afraid on the highway that night. It was daytime, and in Judah, it was daytime. So let me see here. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I missed anything, and then we're gonna see why he claimed. I'm not saying he's not a narc. He was giving narc vibes. I just wanted to make sure. Are we misjudging Bilal? We got some more information. Bilal is in the fraternity. He's an alpha. He's deep into his community. I mean, what he did was petty. We can see some emotional immaturity. We can see some emotional immaturity just by the way he handled being upset and leaving her and isolating her when they went to go pray, right? We can see some emotional immaturity with him, and that may be why he contributed to whatever happened with his first wife or second wife, right? He may have this ideal and nobody really is going to fit that ideal. Let me see what else we got going on here. So I'm not saying he ain't, I'm just saying I'm revisiting, y'all. I'm revisiting because this is what some women do. This is what Sheedah might be doing. She know what she saw, but she may be over here giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like her mother said, watch, you know, pay attention and watch to see whether or not this is who this person is. Hold on. So let's go over to, he born December 11th. Hold on. Let me go here. Jump back over here. Okay, he was over here selling houses in the pandemic, Bilal. Bilal over here selling houses in the pandemic. Crazy. Hell, 433. Yeah, that was this crazy year. Let me see here. All right, let me go back. One more thing I want to share on this TLC thing. Then I'm going to wrap it up. Judah says, no, he's not misjudging him. I'm just saying. I had to put it on record. You feel me? I had to put it on record because, yeah, I think she should have went on and took her behind home. Because these things would have been, she would have had read these things before. Sheedah, if all of these things are on social media, she slid in his DM, then she envisioned her as the quote future wife. Because according to the narrative, she goes into his DM. So he threw the bait. Let me see here. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
What's the name of the thing again? Hold on 1 second. So here we are. No, not that part. This part right here.
So to put things in context is that, yeah, it was an element of a test, but it was really more of a prank. And it was a continuing prank that she actually started.
He says he's hood bougie, so I put him in the hood.
Y'all, context is everything because that just changes the entire conversation.
Now, instead of bringing her to the home where we're going to live at, I'm going to bring her to my childhood home. We are home.
Bilal and Sheedah, before we get into this test, that was a huge conversation for the 90-day fans. I know before we get into that, I'm curious, you two are 90-day newbies. Whose idea was it for you to join the show?
Really? Yeah.
So this is interesting stuff to learn. I didn't know this stuff either. So this is revisiting the conversation. So far, he threw out bait. She bit the bait. And what we're hearing is that it was Sheedah's idea for them to join the show. Interesting.
He didn't want anything to do with a reality show. He was like, I'm a private person. I don't want to put myself out there. I was like, you know what? I've always lived inside of the box. I want to do something different. And I kind of begged him basically to be on it with me.
Yeah. How do you feel?
So Sheedah idea, and she begs him to do it. He already is successful. I'm just looking at it from the other, the other side. He's already successful. They selling millions of dollars worth of property. He already is doing what he's doing. He's already known in his community. And Sheedah, for whatever reason, we would have to ask her, wants to do something as she put it out of the box. Sometimes people come with resistance, especially if they have trust issues, and especially if they're not the one. Like in the case of Usman is the one who wants to go on 90 Day with Kimbali and the rest, right? Because Usman has something that he wants to do. So yes, so according to this narrative, she's saying, and she's sitting right there, that it was her idea.
Feel about that decision now, Bilal?
Just like putting our whole life in front of everybody, I was like, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But she tends to get her way. So like most things, so I submitted, and here we are.
Yeah.
This is interesting because his posture, if you're watching this video, his posture is not like, I'm gonna kick you out the car kind of posture. You heard what he just said? She tends to get her way. She looked at him like, yeah, that's right. Like, are they gaming us? That's what I need to know. Are they running game on the kid right now? Because the way this is looking, he is the one who's getting sunned. He over there writing their wifey letters on Instagram, and she's getting her way by saying, let's go on there. I'm not saying yes, no. This is all new information that I'm hearing the way you are hearing it. So let's continue.
Have you been watching the episodes back?
We have, I've been watching it.
How do you feel?
Like, for me, it's strange watching yourself on television. I laughed so hard with my facial expressions. I had no idea I made so much faces. I was like, oh my God, is that me?
Yeah.
I am definitely a treaty woman. We always express ourselves by our face.
Well, Shy, you slid into Bilal's DMs. That's how you two first met. What was it about him that made you say, okay, I'm going to shoot my shot?
And she said, She's like, you slid into her DMs, and she looked at him, was like, So Shy is looking presenting as Shy, but Shy can move forward if she wants to, right? Because out in these YouTube streets, she's like, yo, pressing up. You know what I mean? I don't know how the young people do it these days, but just sliding into people's DMs, that's some gusto right there.
Okay, I was looking for someone like who's mature, first of all, someone who's responsible, someone who's ambitious, and someone who's a good father, like a father, he has kids. And I've observed these qualities with him just by judging his online pictures. And also, I was attracted to him. I was like, okay, he takes good care of his body. He looks well put together type of gentleman. So, I should my shot and slid into his DMs because we used to converse back and forth. Like, he would make a little comments on my pictures and say, great job, and I'm doing some promotions with my yoga business. So he was attracted to how I was, into my business. You see, an ambitious woman, and I was also attracted to him because, he was like a gentleman, like type of guy.
I spent 7 days.
Okay, wait, pause. We got some commotion going here in the comment section. I'm learning as we're going because this, I'm just kind of catching up on everything that's going on. I wasn't able to catch all the episodes when they came out. So right now I'm just learning as I have a little time. Judah says, even if he was traumatized, he's obligated. Y'all preaching to the choir on that one. I mean, Solonomics, hashtag healing all day over here. I'm not saying no. I'm saying just by what we were shown, right? Earlier, I went hard on boy. I was like, hold on, let me wait a minute, because I know how 90 Day does. Let me just go back. Let me backtrack a little bit just to make sure everything was on target. Or am I being toyed with? I don't like being played with. You understand what I'm saying? So I always like to pull the curtain back a little bit to make sure that because I didn't really have the time to be like, who's Bilal? Who's Sheedah? I didn't really got the time like that. But being that I went so hard, I was like hold up. Let me double check. That's all I'm doing. Let me double check. I'm gonna have to take his word for it. India, he said he was a private person. She convinced him. There's many people I've seen, famous YouTubers who one was a private person and the other made like especially in the couple YouTube, and they convinced them to go on, and now they're all in the camera, but yeah, they were a private person and initially they didn't want to do it. So I've seen that as well. Maybe they run a game on the kid. How about we ask his two ex-wives? We should, because my thing is two things can be right or wrong at the same time. There could be more than one thing going on here. He can have issues, but it may not be the issues that in the way in which they're presenting to us, right? So definitely the other wife ran. He may have OCD, and she actually said it. He may have OCD issues. He may have trust issues. He may have all of these issues. But if we're going to put a charge, when we say, let me think about it, what charge are we putting on him? It was trash for him to threaten her and to manipulate her and say, I'm going to put you out. Right? Like I said earlier, I think it was Judah who asked me, was it wrong? If he said, yo, I don't like that, don't hit me. And she said, do I think he was wrong? When she first did it, she thought if she was playing. But after that, if he's not playing, then, you know what I mean? He's not playing. But in that case, I think she pushed it. I think she, like I said earlier, I'm not going to take that part back. She's in a compromising situation where she's always going to have to be on the apologizing end. So far, she's been there 7 days, must have apologized like 3 times. Why? Because she don't have a pot to piss in right now. So that puts her in a precarious situation. You feel me? That alone makes me say, go back home. It's not like I don't think she should still go back home. But judging by the princess on Instagram, she's still here. I don't know how that's going to get to where he doesn't manipulate her. I think because he's afraid and because he has all of these other things going on, he might take it out on her. He may manipulate her. You know what I mean? She may manipulate him. I don't know. Let's see what here. What Judah say? That's it. That's if they've made it from being put out on the road. I'm cutting peppers. You cry. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Let me see right here what's going on. All right. Yeah, the walking on eggshells is emotional abuse, right? But let's continue to listen to a little bit of what they were telling Entertainment Tonight.
He's in Trinidad, so we only spent actually 7 days together physically before we decided that, okay, this is official.
Well, Bilal, you decided to propose after 7 days of being with Shy in person. She's beautiful, of course, but beyond that, what was it that made you say, okay, this is going to be my wife?
I have a chance to meet her and her mother and her stepfather, really the whole family. Everybody's there, so everybody's grilling me and we're having a great time. And I don't know, I just felt that she had the essence of things that I was looking for when it comes to great motherly qualities for my children and any future children to come. You know, she wears her faith on her sleeve. You know, she's very God conscious. So a lot of different traits that I was looking for, she possessed. So
I wanted to see if Sheedah truly wants me for me, not for what I have. You know, she told me she's a rider.
Bruh, you came there with the ring already. You were already writing dear wife letters before you got there. So you were like, yep, she checks the boxes. You know what I mean? Like, he seems pressed. He may be somebody who not that they can't be by themselves, but he may not be comfortable enough to be by himself. So even when you're by yourself, you're only fantasizing about somebody. He may be that type of person. Well, I gotta make sure I see where they're at. But let's continue a little bit. The ladies are not having it. They're like, no, Amuna, no second thoughts. I gotta just put it on record, man.
So let's put that to the test.
Bilal, some people felt as if it wasn't right for you to test Shy by picking her up in a van that wasn't yours, taking her to your childhood home, acting as if you lived there. Some even felt as if you were gaslighting her. So looking back now, do you regret the prank?
You know, I definitely would say I would probably do some things differently for sure. I don't know how long we have, but just to put things in context.
We're good, talk.
Okay, she said talk. So to put things in context is that, it was an element of a test, but it was really more of a prank. And it was a continuing prank that she actually started. So when I went to Trinidad, I let her know, I said, hey, here's some Airbnbs that I can stay at. You know, you choose which one should I stay at because I'm not familiar with the area. She said, okay, yeah, sure. So she picked the one for me to stay at, and lo and behold, the Airbnb was in the middle of the worst crime area ever. Right? So I'm staying at this Airbnb, and I don't know. I know it's kind of suspect.
So according to him, according to the story, to your side, my side, and the truth, she has him in the hood. She has him pick an Airbnb in the hood, and she's looking like she's waiting for him to stop so she could jump in on this story. It's all about context, no? So let's continue to listen. According to him, she started the whole thing. Let's listen.
But I'm walking around, and she's calling me at night, like, where are you at? I'm like, oh, she's like, no, you need to go back to your, so I don't even know, the area is that bad. Yeah. Even I can see that it looks bad. And then her mother, she picked us up, she's like, Sheedah, why do you have him staying in such and such area? What's the area called?
It was
Karanaj. So, and it was a bad area. So, literally, it was like I was in an institution. There was barbed wire fencing around the premise. It was a bad area. So she thought it was very funny.
Sheedah, you have this man looking the way he does in that area. That's dangerous.
He says he's hood bougie, so I put him in the hood.
I am what you would call hood.
So wait now. According to the storyline, this is getting interesting because I didn't hear none of this, people. According to the storyline, he said he was hood bougie, so she put him in the hood with intention. So Sheedah out here going says she can't have my chance, okay? That means she ain't about that life. She out here acting like she can't have my chance. And this person comes to your area And because they said they hood bougie, she wanted to test his chops to a certain degree and put him in the hood. I don't know. That's what, but she's not denying it. We only saw a part. That's why I said, let me bethink myself. Amuna, let me bethink myself. I know how 90 Day could get down. TLC is known for getting down with the get down. So it's interesting to get context, right? And so she's not denying that she did that. Like somebody came on your turf, they came to your spot and you put them in the hood. It's like somebody coming to Brooklyn and I put them, it's not, you can't even say Bed-Stuy no more because Bed-Stuy has been gentrified, but you put them in 1992 Bed-Stuy. I don't know. Would the person feel away? And then they're walking out around, they have no idea that they're in danger, and they're walking around and you're like, no, don't walk out there. You could get got. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Let's keep playing. Wait, hold on. Let me see what these young ones went. Let me run a commercial real quick and make sure, because these ones is playing. Yeah, I gotta make sure these little ones here be skateboarding all over the place. Anywho, this is interesting stuff. Welcome to the conversation. This is Amuna. Definitely check out the Yummy Cottage, support the work. Let's continue.
With a little bit of boujiness because it was fancy wrong, presenting barbed wire.
It was barbed wire fits.
But that's the first thing you let me know I'm hood bougie. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put him in somewhere affordable, hood. It still was bougie because it was like barbed wire all around, so he was protected in his hood bougie Airbnb.
So
That's hilarious.
yeah, so we both like to joke, humor. So in the back, I'm like, okay, good one. You know, I was there for 7 days. Not one, but 7. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pay you back. You know, I'm gonna get you back. So she forgot. I was like, you're not gonna know where it's gonna come from. Then with the house, I was like, I just really wanted to surprise her because she was seeing me a lot of, you know, pictures of like, oh, this is my home that I would like to live in, when we, do well in life, etc. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that house looks kind of like the house I live in already. So, so I'm like, maybe I just want to surprise her when she comes. Yeah. And then the idea came like, oh, I remember she pranked me. I'm gonna get her back. And one day we were actually watching, because we would watch movies together from a long distance, like Netflix, like press play at the same time. And so we were watching one of our favorite movies, Coming to America. And I was like, I know what I'm gonna do. So, wow. That was it.
Y'all, context is everything, because that just changes the entire conversation.
That does change the conversation. For me, it does, at least. That we can't, and she's looking like, yes, she did that. And when she did it, she kind of felt justified. Let me wind up this other side of it. She kind of felt justified in doing so, right? So context is everything. I agree. But let's continue.
In my opinion. Bilal, have you ever had instances where women did just want you for money? Have you ever ran into that?
No, I really haven't. I mean, I've, you hear things about people like, oh, they're, just in it for money or this and that. Like, I've never been, this funny thing is I've never really been flashy. You might see me on social media with a suit on. That's because that's just what I do for a living.
And your Louboutins.
Yeah, so, but like, if you don't, like, you never see me taking a picture next to my cars or taking a picture, with my personal homes or anything like that. Like, only homes that you see are things that I'm like selling for clients. So I never been like flashy that way or anything like that. If you know it, or if you're into brands, so you may know something subtle, like, oh, he wears this belt or etc.
Yeah.
But I never really had the experience of somebody just wanting you for like something that you have.
Yeah.
I'm putting Shy to the test.
So that I know the 90 days Easton, because if you never had that experience, then why are you afraid? If you went to where she lived and she wasn't like on the roadside selling, doubles or something, she wasn't on the roadside selling roti, then why are you over here acting like she's trying to stick you for your papers? 90 day yeast up storyline.
Wow, home sweet home, right? When Sheedah comes in today, I'm gonna bring her to my childhood home, the home that I actually grew up in, just to see that if I did live here, will you still be with me?
You said this was a prank, but in the show you did say you wanted to test Sheedah to see if she really wanted you for who you are and what you have. So that being said, what do you say to people who feel as if you do these type of tests before you decide to make someone your wife?
Yeah, like I can admit that there was really three elements. By far, the most of it was a prank, but there was some elements of a test. And I think with any joke, there is like some truth in it. So it was to see like, she would say things, make comments like, hey, like a minute to win it. And I would ask her things like, let's say for some reason, let's say if I had money, and for some reason I lost it all, like, would you ride with me? Would you help me build it back up? She's like, sure, no doubt. So everybody says that. But then when you put into that moment, so it's like, well, so yeah, there were some elements of a test. And frankly, also there was a lot of settlement elements to it as well, too. The truck wasn't just any truck. It was actually my father's truck.
Yeah, according, let me see what time it is. It's getting dark. According to the story, he looked up to his father. His father passed away. But even if he's into real estate and that's your family house, why not fix it up too, Bilal? I mean, that says a lot that you're gonna take her to the family house and you're a realtor and the family house is run down. Flip the house, flip it, fix it, do something. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's side note. Let's continue.
It was one of his trucks, and he recently passed, and he didn't get a chance to meet Sheedah physically. They spoke on the phone, video, etc. And the home was a house that not just my childhood, but I grew up there like 20 plus of my years of my life. And my father actually helped build that house. So it was really sentimental to say.
So fix the house, Bilal. Fix the house. For those who just joined us, welcome to the conversation. I'm taking a second look. Are we misjudging Bilal? Should Sheedah still run? We're finding out some stuff. I'm finding it out with you. That gives me a broader understanding of what's going on here. Is he somebody who's worked with a boo? You know what I mean? Could she work with him? Because she also, I've seen here, India and Judah is going in on them both. Are they made for each other? Can they work through these things that we're seeing on social media? Or is it just too much and they should run? Should they just quit relationships at the first sign of trouble? Does she still want to be in a relationship and have children? Or are they just catching the worst parts of Bilal? I don't know. Let's continue.
It was a way of like really introducing her to my father before I introduced her to the rest of my family, because I really feel them there. And but also to show her too, like, these are my roots, and to really know me, no, this is where I came from.
Yeah. Knowing that about the van, and Sheedah, do you regret the whole Sanford and Son comment?
I totally regret the Sanford and Son comment.
This place looking like Sanford and Son.
Yo, she said this place looking like Sanford and Son. Yo, she called it a junkyard. Yo, Sheedah was going in. Why she said the van had rats though? She was doing the most, yo. To leave it to the Caribbean people just to be out of pocket on the people them TV.
When he's doing a test on me, I am totally unaware. So I'm thinking it's just his truck, his personal belongings. So I'm not thinking it has any sentimental value.
Right.
So my exclamation was just natural, Sanford and Son, if you up in his old truck, boy, you could do better than that type of thing.
Yeah.
She was killing me with the comments. And then with the house, it was so it started as a prank, and then it started to become like, oh man, like you taking shots at my.
No,
he was in her feeling. She went in on the house. I can't say I blame her, but homegirl went in on the house though. This looks like two totally different people in this interview. I don't know. Even though they still both got some growing up to do, they may need counseling. They may need to go to counseling.
Look, Sheedah, you give shade. You are good with the shade. You're just coming back to back. I'm like, she is quick with her tongue.
Yes, so quick. She be killing me.
I was so upset. I was so angry.
Yeah, that's feeling.
Yeah, I gotta get that done.
It looks like it could collapse on us any moment.
I was trying to hold back a lot of anger at him, because he met me. I'm a woman with standards.
Yeah.
Just because you have standards doesn't mean you have to be rich or luxurious. You could be clean, coming out of the truck, seeing the first thing my eye went up there to see that
Ceiling?
window
With
a big hole in it. That's the first thing I saw when I came.
Oh, in the house. Yeah.
For the house.
I saw the window with a hole, And after I saw the little edges peeling apart, the panes, you know, the veranda, the porch is falling down, I was like,
Stuff.
just because it's a humble home doesn't mean it has to be
Look a mess. That's true.
That was my
So her point, I agree that you knew for 2 years she was coming here. And even if this was your home, why is it in this condition? How are you a realtor with your home in this condition, right? Let me know if you guys could still hear me. So I was rocking with her because she had some valid points, but she was lacing him though. She was lacing him and he was in his feelings, right? And he did try to emotionally manipulate her into not feeling how she's feeling. So like I said, two people could be wrong at the same time.
that was my heartbreak.
Believe it or not, actually, like I spent like the whole weekend like cleaning up that house. Like it was really because it's just an area where my father would store a lot of his stuff there. So the woman lived in it for 15 plus years. So cleaned it up a lot, you know. So what you see actually on TV was like hours and hours of like brother, sister helping.
Well, you flip houses though too, right? Have you ever thought about flipping that house?
For sure, definitely did. My father, like I said, he recently passed. However, my father too, he's the type of person like he wants to do it himself, you know. So he had rental properties as well too, and so anytime something was fixed, he would do it himself. And so he didn't want anybody touching his houses or anything like that. So it's not necessarily a house that I own. So
Okay, now Bilal, sorry I had to rough you up because I was like, why didn't you fix the house, Bilal? But according to his explanation, it was his father's house and he didn't have the wherewithal to fix it.
out of respect, didn't do anything to it.
That makes sense. I saw that in the comments. You know, 90 Day fans, they're really creative with the way they think about all of these things. And someone was like, why didn't he just flip the house if he flips houses?
That's what I said.
That's a good question.
My dad would kill me if I touched this house.
Okay, well, let's get into how you reacted to the prank, Sheedah. Do you regret anything you said? You mentioned something about do you have enough money for that when he asked you, did you want food?
You want something to eat?
Yeah, something that's on a clean bowl, yeah.
Yeah, well, I can order something.
Yo, Shade. For those who just joined us, what happened, ladies? Y'all got quiet in the comment section. Shade. Yo, oh wow, 57 minutes. I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Homie said in a clean bowl, he holding his mouth like, no, she didn't. I don't know. They might be cut out for each other. What y'all say?
I know you don't want to eat.
You have enough money for that?
That was harsh.
I regret that part, you know, like, you know, just telling him, do you have enough money for that? It was insultive towards him. I was so upset. Like, I was like, you wanna buy me food, but you can't even take care of a home? But first of all, I'm thinking, if you can't maintain your home, what makes you think that you can maintain me? You know, I gave up my life. I closed down my yoga business. I made this huge move to America with a little bit of savings in my pocket, you know. At the same time, I'm depending on him because I can't work. So I'm looking at him as my main source of income. So now it's like, you're offering me food to eat. It's like, take the money for food and fix the house, you know. So I was like, you have enough money for that?
Yeah.
I regret it though. I should not have said that to you. I wish you would not.
I mean, in the situation that they were in, oh, y'all cooking, y'all chefing it up. Do your thing. What y'all making today? What y'all making for dinner? In the situation that she was in, Judah over there listening and exercising. I ain't mad at y'all. For the situation that she was in, I could see how she's like, yo, why are you trying to do extracurricular stuff? And the house is falling apart. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like he poked the bear and he got what he came for.
Tested me because I was holding back so much things I wanted to say, and I felt like this could have destroyed us. Like, I was really trying to bite my tongue. So, you know, take care if I lose my cool, and he would have kept me there for a longer time. What would have happened to us? You know, that little bit that I said, we still have arguments based on that. Like, he still, we haven't gone past this test. It still comes up.
Oh, spinach pasta. Do the thing, India. Do the
still
thing.
Talk about it and see how much I have hurt his feelings. And I tried to express my point of view. So I was thinking, you test me on something that really could have, you know.
It could have backfired. And stop with the hurt feelings, Bilal. I mean, put your feelings up, bruh. With all these hurt feelings, you can't dish it, but you can't take it. That's a problem.
You
This is where you stand at.
Oh my God. When you walk into Bilal's house and he says, this is your new home, this is where you're about to live, describe to us the feeling that you felt.
I was like, no, this is home. This is what I expect. This is what I left my business and my family to, to come to. Like, this is what I call a house, It was comfortable, everything looking real nice and polished, my type of style, This is what I wanted, and this is what I was expecting.
Why he looking at her though? Why he looking at her like that? I know y'all can't see the screen, but why is he looking at her like that? Like, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it with this dude. Learning more, I think, is insightful for me. They may be energetically on the same wavelengths. There's something, of course, that attracts one person to the next. Religion-wise, they are yoked in the same space. And so they may think that it's a good look. But there's other things lurking in the background on her part as well as his part. He looks more quiet, stormish, that she needs to be careful of, as the first and second wife. And she is more... the way she moves, whatever's inside of him is gonna come out. That's what I think. This could be a happy disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah. How have you been dealing with Bilal's OCD? Because according to your ex-wife, you are very particular.
If she leaves the socks on the floor,
There's gonna be some issues.
she gonna be out.
She might have to sleep on the couch.
Bilal's very picky, and I wish to look.
He drives me insane, He is very so particular, so neat. As his luggage, he packs his clothes like a psycho. When I pack it up, I put my things, I doesn't know how he gets like 25 pieces of clothes in one luggage because he packs it so neat and small.
I mean, my dad was in the military, so so us having a standard of like cleaning and I wouldn't even say I would not say I'm OCD. I've been told differently that actually isn't the best term to use. Just from a standpoint of people who actually have that. So, I apologize for actually using the term. I would say I'm a neat freak. I definitely like things to be clean and neat and be in a certain way.
Melissa cooking. He's wiping when I'm cooking. He's like, can I cook?
No, she's the messiest cooker I've ever seen before in my life.
I'm normal. We call it normal. We cook. We might leave a little bit of onion here.
Even her mother says, like, Shy, you can clean and cook as you go. So,
yeah, I'm not even gonna front. I mean, I have to give him a point for this one. I don't like dirty cooking. Clean and cook, fam. You make a mess, you clean it up. You don't wait to the end where the kitchen look like a tornado hit it. You got food all over the place. You got oil splatter everywhere. That's nastiness. I'm with him on that one. More particular in the kitchen. I don't like dirty cooking. So, and he made a comment when they were in the car that I thought was interesting. Like, even though it was inappropriate to make it while the camera was rolling, I think, but when he talked about leaving drawers on the floor, I was like, there's no way Shorty could be leaving drawers on the floor. Maybe he's exaggerating. Like, you can have men who are more particular than women. I happen to have had a grandfather who was more particular. And when men are particular with cleaning, Father help you. You know what I'm saying? Women particular with cleaning, but when the men are particular with cleaning, it can be a definite headache. I'm checking on these little ones here, but let me finish this up.
So that way you don't have this huge, like, disarray of mess when you're done. Like,
you ever just step out, Bilal, and just let her finish?
Thank you. He wants to do a little shining and wiping, and I'm uncomfortable like the Lord. Can I cook in peace?
I got a little something else to show you.
Oh my God. I will say the yoga studio. That was so touching. That was a great addition.
See, those things isn't something like, that's the reaction is what I was looking for in person. Like, you can't get that if I was to show you her, if I would have showed her that on a picture or video, etc. So that's why I was holding certain things. It wasn't to be malicious. It wasn't to be like disingenuous or to be dishonest. It was to show you like, hey, I want to surprise you.
my whole perspective on you two as a couple, I mean, other than aesthetically, you seem great together, but now my opinion has changed. So this conversation is
I'm with you. I still have some questions, but I'm with the host. This has been insightful. As some of the clips can be inflammatory, and which would lead people to jump into people's social media and DMs. You know how 90-day peoples are, and start going in, start making memes. You know they're about to be a meme already. I'm just here for, they're going to be a meme. You can't really stop that. But just to get more insight, to take a minute and step back and be like, you know what, I jumped off real quick. Let me see if it is what it is, or is that how we're being thought to make it?
You know, I'm sure it's going to change a lot of people's thoughts. Yeah, well, yeah. Figures. I have a fan question, which I feel like is going to answer a lot. There are rumors circulating that you two are married. I know you can't say anything when it comes to that, but the Jamaican wants to know, Bilal, how are you feeling about Sheedah at this point? Is she currently wife material, or are you still having second thoughts?
I would say she's a person who has a strong value, a person who is definitely somebody who, if I didn't, somebody would definitely wipe her up quick. So
good answer.
Yeah.
90-Day Fiancé fans are very opinionated, which I'm sure you have experienced already. Yeah, how are you dealing with that mentally? Like, how has it been for you?
Well, for me, I've always put myself out there. You know, back home, they know me as a yoga girl. You know, I've made newspapers several times, so I've always put myself out there. So it's nothing much for me to deal with. For him, however, he has never put himself out there. So I've seen him, you know, I think some of the comments were so harsh and some of them were very distasteful. So I've seen he had a very difficult time.
Yeah, I've gotten phone calls, I've gotten emails, I've gotten...
You know, these 90-day people are off the chain. Did he say he got phone calls and emails? Hold on one second. That's crazy. They be doing too much. They be doing too much.
The stuff that people say is like, wow. And for me, like, I've been a person who has really, I guess, pretty much all my life to try to stay a certain way and been, you know, disrespectful towards people and good-hearted. You know, I'm an imam, which is, you know, a person who is a leader in our religious congregation. To, you know, I do a lot of philanthropy and a lot of just financial education and giving back to people that travel all around the country doing that stuff. So to get some of the back, is like I've never experienced that before in my life.
And that's what I went on his social media and saw. I saw some information saying, oh, he don't give back. That's not true. So my thing is, the internet could be a wild place where the things we say people run with, and it affects people's lives in real time, right? They, like he says, they call up to you, they come to your job. If the people feel like you've put yourself in this position, they will do those things. Now, we can't be responsible for other people's day, but like I said earlier, when I was like, yo, run, he was giving narc vibes. I don't know if he got two different personalities. In this particular interview, he's not giving whole narc vibes. But he may be, I don't know. He may switch code. He may code switch. I don't know. But all I know is that within my spirit, I said, let me go back and see if what it is, what they're giving us is what it is, or is it something else? We almost at the end, and then I'm going to go ahead and go. But let's finish this out.
Life, and it was just like, it was just eye-opening to see that, wow, like somebody can take like 10, 20 minutes of what they see and just rip and form an opinion about you like that. It's like, wow. And I mean, you can dig, you can see, you know, works that I've done, you know, you really truly looking for those things. But so that was kind of hurtful. But on a positive note, you also see the beauty, you know, and you see there's so much more positive people that are out there. That, you know, are rooting for you, rooting for her, especially for her. And, so
she had a lot of support. Well, I'm curious, you know, speaking of Hope, guys.
And that's what I'm saying. The producers oftentimes look for an angle, and in the way they present to Sheedah is like I said, she can't mash hands, you know. And Bilal is this big bad dude doing crazy things. He got two ex-wives for a reason. There's many reasons that somebody could have exes, right? You can have exes because you're broken and you keep picking the wrong people. it's not just you can be attracting the wrong person to you because you're putting out the wrong things. It doesn't necessarily mean like you're the horrible worst person in the world. It just means that that mechanism by which you're using to choose the people, you're actually materializing the person that's going to reaffirm your whatever XYZ fill it in, right? There's many people, if you look through here, there's many people who couldn't get it together relationship wise because there's some underlining things that they never addressed. You can also have been in a long-standing toxic behind relationship for half a century, and that doesn't prove that you're the best person because you were in a toxic relationship. I've known people personally who's 40, 50 years into the most toxic relationship you could ever imagine. So being married for a long time doesn't mean you're a good person, and getting divorced multiple times doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means in that you have failed to a certain degree in this aspect of life. That's my thought, because I've seen it both ways. I've seen people who've been together who should have never been together, and they've hurt more people together than they would if they would have just separated. So outside of the two divorces, the putting her outside of the car and the gaslighting, both of these people need some therapy. And like I said, this interview was insightful, and I had to just double back a little bit. I don't got no problem saying double back, because like I said, I don't got a dog in this fight. I don't have an agenda. I don't need to teach anybody to hate anybody. You know what I mean? That's not my cup of tea. So if I say, wait a minute, maybe I've misjudged this person. Maybe they're running game. I don't know, but it's definitely a bit of dysfunction. Yeah, I mean, to what degree is there dysfunction? I don't know. Is it gonna be? We see that him threatening to put her outside of the car may escalate things. We see that the way she communicates may escalate things. I don't know. They may need to go seek some assistance and some help.
Consciousness of it all. How do you feel like this is growing you? You know, is this expanding you in ways that you didn't really know? You know, having to figure out how to deal with all these opinions?
It has. It's so funny because we talk, you know, sometimes about like, you know, because, you know, she can see sometimes I get down or whatever. And I'm a very positive person. And I think you're going to see that as you see on the show. And I'm all about appreciation, being grateful, and this and that. And, but, you know, sometimes, you know, things get to you. And she'll be like, hey, like, you remember, pray for this, you know? And the reality is that we decided to move forward because we felt that God was answering prayers for us to align us this way. Like, we wouldn't have even done this if we felt anything different. So I just had to keep that perspective, like, you know, that this is just a test, you know. And you know, I always say for every level there's another devil. So at the end of the day, you know, you just got to keep moving forward.
And you know who you are. Right, more than it.
I think he's gonna catch it more than her, and it may drive a wedge, given that this was her plan, or her thought, or her suggestion to come on this show. He's gonna be the bad guy in this show, right? He's already the bad guy. I mean, I'm not gonna front. This one guy, that video he put together was hilarious. I'm not even gonna front. That just had me rolling. But he's gonna come out of this conversation with the short end of the stick, and that may make him salty. That may make him salty. She may be the number 3. I agree with you. If they go through and he's unable to let go of things, because to be overly OCD, or he may be anal retentive. If he grew up with a military father who emotionally, he doesn't seem wholly constipated because he is able to communicate with what he wants, but in other spaces he may be imbalanced, right? So he looks to possibly control all the space around him so he can feel okay. He's gonna come out with the short end of the stick off of this 90-day thing, because already he's getting the short end of the stick, and that may be something that he's not willing to go. And he may blame her because it was all her idea, and then next thing you know, they get the dump.
Any of us do.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. What do you want fans to know about your relationship? If there's one thing you want them to know before we get knee deep into the season, because we're still at the beginning.
I just want fans to know that our relationship is a real relationship. If you put a camera in everyone's relationship, they're gonna see moments when they disagree, when they argue, when they're in love. It's a real relationship. You know, I'm not putting on a facade because, oh, I'm wearing a hijab. I'm showing you that, yes, I'm a Muslim woman, he's a Muslim man, but we are real. You know, we have problems like everyone else. Some fans didn't know that it's real. A lot of people thinking this test is fake. And I know about the house. It's the holy month of Ramadan. I'm telling you, I had no idea about this house. It was my first reaction. It's how it played out on television. So I just want fans to know that this is a real relationship that they get to see on camera.
All right, that was it. That's it. That was insightful for me. I'm glad I did this so that I can be more informed. If I can dig into history, at least I could dig into an Instagram to make sure that I'm not speaking on somebody's name, because I would never want nobody to do that to me. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts, as you've already done, in the comment section below. Did we misjudge? Did I misjudge Bilal? Are you misjudging Bilal? Do you see him in a different light? Do you see Sheedah in a different light now? As we go forward, we always just understand that there's context to the story that's not always given. It's like when they showed Usman calling Zara, and they made it look like he was calling Zara after Kimbali left. And Usman was like, no, that is not what happened. You know what I mean? You know, 90 days shicey, they get into stuff like that. So with that said, thank everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and boogie. Enjoy your dinner, enjoy your exercise, and all that good stuff. And we'll come back and chat again later. Hold on there. Let me play my little commercial.